Greetings, fellow traders. So for today, we're going to do a very quick recap on the past couple of days with the CPI and PPI numbers, so that we can kind of understand and have some context as to why the market behaved the way it did these past couple of days. So first, we're going to start with the core PPI. So the core price index is going to be consumer spending. So that's what's being tracked on Tuesday. And we can see here that even though the numbers are red for consumer spending, they're still positive. So the only reason why the numbers are red is because they were lower than expected. But this is still good news for the U.S. Economy, even though the numbers were missed. So even though these numbers are red and the US dollar had a huge drop because of it, let's not put too much thought into this and think, oh, the US economy must be doing so bad right now, so I'm going to be bearish on the US dollar. The US dollar, in my opinion, is still very bullish and is still very strong. So let's not let this consumer spending distract us from what is really going on. So, 0.2% for the core PPI, and then we just kind of broke even it with the CPI. These really aren't bad numbers. They're just lower than expected. So going into the numbers for today, when we see today was just crazy. So, we had a lot of mixed information that made it very difficult for the market and traders to decide on, what is what. So breaking into this, we can see the core PPI. So the difference between the core PPI and the PPI numbers is the core does not measure the food and energy prices. So, that broke even at 0.0%. So obviously, when it comes to these numbers, you want to see an increase. You want to see a higher number because the higher number is good for currency because it's good for the economy. It shows the economy is strong. It shows people are spending money. And if people are spending money, it's because they either have it or they feel so good about the economy and their financial situation that they feel comfortable spending money. So when people stop spending money, it's usually because people either don't have money to spend or they're concerned with the overall health of the economy and feel like, okay, you know what, I better start saving some money because who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And that usually causes the inflation numbers to go down as a result, because now producers want to get people spending money. So when you look at the PPI numbers, this measures producer price index. So that measures what business owners are seeing. And we can see that it was very mixed. So this number right here for the Empire State Manufacturing Index, this is a survey for business owners in New York, and they are very optimistic about the economy and the overall health of business. So this right here is saying, hey, you know what? They're not really paying too much attention with everything else that's going on. So if they feel good about the economy, that could be a sign that businesses as a whole or a majority in the US feel very good about the US economy. We have some lower than expected numbers here. This one was a huge miss, in my opinion. So the PPI, this measures all industries, including food and energy prices. And we can see that there is a huge drop. So we should start to see this in our everyday lives. We should start to notice that things are starting to get a little bit cheaper based off of these numbers. And then you can see retail sales here. So this one was a little bit concerning because you want to see this to be a positive number. For whatever reason, the forecast was a negative 0.3%. So with it only being a negative 0.1%, then obviously that was good news. So as a result, the US dollar was fairly strong. Today it started off taking a hit, but now we can see the US dollar is doing quite well, up 0.32%. So it's making a little bit of recovery. It's still kind of down from where it was. But looking at this right here, according to the DPO, we are now entering a bullish cycle on the US dollar, which means bearish on euro US dollar, bearish on pound US dollar, and bearish on Australian US dollar, and just bearish on currency pairs going against the US dollar. Now that gold is kind of in an alignment with the US dollar, we should see gold also drop. So gold had this huge bullish move, and it was kind of surprising how far it dropped, or I mean how far it went up. But now we can kind of see a correction taking place. We'll go to the 4-hour time frame just so we can see this in a bigger picture. So it looks like we should see this continuation of a downtrend on gold, and that's what I am expecting. It was a little concerning or disappointing rather to see that move from gold just kind of shoot up the way it did, because I totally missed this one. And this I did not expect the CPI numbers or the PPI numbers to be so off, or for the market to react the way they did, because the US economy is still doing very well. But nonetheless, this happens in Forex. Sometimes, you follow your plan, you follow what the market is telling you, and you can still end up being wrong. So times like this, I don't take it too personal. I don't sweat it. And we take those losses, we move on from them, and then we look for other opportunities. So I am going to go ahead and I already placed some trades like about an hour or so ago. And basically what I am expecting is for gold to at least drop down to around 1950, maybe down to 1944. And then I will look at things from there. I don't expect the price to shoot back up to 1970. But tomorrow we do have more news on the US. So we have unemployment claims. Recently, this hasn't impacted the market too much. So one way or another, I'm not expecting the market to move too much, regardless of what happens. I'm just going to trust and see. I'm just going to trust what my charts is telling me. And for right now, my charts is telling me that this is going to be bearish. So we had a highest point right around here. So if I move this line here, so 1975, and you can kind of see 1975 wasn't really touched again until I guess that was earlier this morning around 5 o'clock in the morning. So, and that's probably just because of the news and everything going on. But this area of resistance has been holding, and it looks like the price is going to continue downward for a little bit. So we should be able to at least get 100 pips out of this, and then we can review things from there. Okay, guys, that is it for today. I'll try and have some good ideas for some trades on Sunday or Monday, and we'll just pick it up from there. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you next video. Take care.